everyone, welcome back to Sealand Plays Gyakuten Live. We are immediately starting, continuing the trial. Court is now back in session for the trial of Nakatsu Kasumi. The prosecution is ready as always, Your Honor. The defense is ready for real this time, Your Honor. Right, let's just get back into the meat of things, shall we? The prosecution shall sum up what we know thus far. At an unspecified time between 12:05 and 3:30 p.m., someone left a basket of bread in front of Ayumu's locker in the clubroom, including the laced loaf. Our problem right now is that we don't know yet who actually left the basket there. It may have been the defendant, but it may also have not been. However, I intend to clear everything up with my next witness and show that it could only have been nobody but the defendant, Nakatsu Kasumi. Very well. This could go either way. I just hope it isn't someone like Emma-san or we're totally done for. I don't know who the witness is. Oh my god. We're screwed. Yep, we're totally done for. Witness, can you state your name and occupation for us? Sure, I'm Emma Verde. As for my occupation, I guess I'm just a student and a school idol. Thank you for that. Witness, please testify about what you saw at the clubroom between 12:05 and 3:30 p.m. Okay, sounds good. What I saw at the clubroom. Oh boy, I gotta pay attention. At 2:05, I arrived at the clubroom to drop off some stuff in my locker. Right as I arrived at the door, though, I ran into Kasumi-chan, who opened it from the inside. Kasumi-chan then suddenly said, "Shh! Don't tell Ayumu-senpai I left the basket there." Then she took off, and I entered the room to see that there was a basket in front of Ayumu-chan's locker with 3 yummy-looking loaves of bread in it. At that point, I just dropped off my stuff, woke up Kanata-chan, and left with her. You're kidding, right? We're in a pickle, Yu-chan. Emma-san is basically incapable of outright lying, and everything she said seems to point the finger at Kasumi-chan. I'll say, how the heck am I supposed to cross-examine my way out of this one? Don't lose hope yet. There's got to be a contradiction somewhere in there. Somewhere. What's wrong, defense? Throwing in a towel? Absolutely not. The defense refuses to back down just yet. Although, to be honest, your crummy attitude isn't doing me any favors. Okay, cross-examination. I'm nervous. It says Emma entered at 10:02 a.m. It doesn't specify that she entered around 2 p.m. I could contradict this. I guess I could try. So, what were you there to drop off exactly? You're asking her a question like that? Don't you think that's irrelevant? Well, I was thinking, maybe Emma-san brought us some cool foreign snacks for this weekend or something. Objection sustained. Try to keep your questions on topic, please. Well, we did not lose health, so that's good. Anyway, right as I arrived at the door, though, I ran into Kasumi-chan, who opened it from the inside. I don't see an issue with that one. At that point, I just dropped off my stuff and woke up Kanata-chan and left with her. Okay, yeah, I am so confused. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? Well, press every single one then. Process of elimination, I guess. Anyway, witness, I noticed that your name never showed up on the access record around the specified time. Yeah, I pointed that out earlier. Anyway, to clarify, that's because Kasumi-chan opened the door, right? I guess so. Now that I think about it, I don't think I actually needed to activate the electronic lock because of it. I suppose that makes sense. This isn't going anywhere. Are you sure? Is there a possibility that you heard wrong? None. That's more or less exactly what she said. Order! I will have order. I think it's about time we wrap up this case. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? I guess so, but I'm not ready. No, this isn't over yet. So you're certain that's exactly what you saw? There wasn't, say, another basket which also coincidentally had bread in it or anything? Nope, one basket, 3 loaves of bread, right smack dab in front of Ayumu-chan's locker. If that's really true, that's bad news for us, and I can't see Emma-san lying about this. That is true, I don't see Emma being a liar. Anyway, let's press this. So why wasn't this brought up earlier? The prosecution left an entire extra party out of this statement. I simply thought it wasn't necessary to bring it up, that's all. Emma-san here is just a witness. It wasn't necessary to involve her testimony in this case, at least until now. You can say that, but there's got to be something Emma-san missed in here. We better check our court record carefully. Hopefully we can find something to use as ammunition. I know, I'm trying to figure that out. Don't pressure me. After a few mistakes, I think I had the right evidence, but the wrong statement. Anyway, we'll present the basket of bread. One basket, 3 loaves of bread in front of Ayumu's locker. You're absolutely positive that's what you saw? Yes, I'm certain. Witness, please take a look at this evidence for me. It's the basket retrieved from the club room and it's got 3 loaves of bread in it. I can see that. Isn't that consistent with what I said? You're right, it would be. If it weren't for this... That's the loaf that Ayumu-chan ate, right? Yes, this basket was retrieved with 3 loaves of bread, and the half-eaten bread was retrieved as well. There were no fewer than 4 loaves of bread involved in this case. That's true. Where did the extra loaf come from? I'll tell you where it came from. Some lowlife planted it to frame my client. You see, the defendant had only baked and dropped off 3 loaves of bread in total, as implied by the witness. After that, to make it look like the defendant had done it, the real culprit dropped off the double-braided pile of evil in the same basket. Who are you calling a double-braided pile of evil? You want a penalty? No, not you. Then you mean me, right? No, I meant the bread. The loaves are double-braided, see? Oh, well, in that case, that is a valid possibility. Alright, you-chan, a way to bounce back into the fight. Prosecution, what do you have to say in response? A keen observation for sure. However, I regret to inform you, defense, that this still doesn't change the fact that nobody entered the room between Emma-san at 2:05 and Ayumu-san at 3:30. Therefore, no one could have dropped off the extra loaf after the defendant had left the room. Damn it, she's got a point. As for where the extra loaf came from, well, the witness can tell you all about it. How about it, witness? Can you do that for us? Can I? I mean, yes, of course. The 4th loaf. I had actually bumped into Kasumi-chan earlier that day around 10:30 a.m. outside the cooking room. At the time, Kasumi-chan had the basket with her. All 4 loaves of bread were in it. I must have been eyeing the bread pretty hard because she then offered me one of those tasty loaves. However, when I bumped into Kasumi-chan again at the club room, I felt bad for taking part of Ayumu-chan's birthday present. So after Kasumi-chan left, I placed the loaf I had with me into the basket. What a bizarre turn of events. Odd, but I guess not impossibly so. Before we move on to the defense's cross-examination, I would like to bring everyone's attention to this. And what exactly is this? It's a bottle of wagarashi. Essentially, it's a very spicy mustard. Wouldn't you know it was found in the cooking room? Wagarashi were recovered from the cooking room. Contents matched that of the lace loaf of bread that Ayumu ate. This bottle was found sitting on the counter, partially used. The prosecution believes that it was used by the defendant before she bumped into the witness at 10:30 a.m. and she was exiting the very room where this was found in. The evidence just keeps piling up against us. Still, you can't call it quits yet. Come on, you can do it. Ayumu's right. I've come too far to be foiled by a stupid bottle of mustard. Cross-examination, the 4th loaf. Oh boy. I had actually bumped into Kasumi-chan earlier that day around 10:30 a.m. outside the cooking room. At the time, Kasumi-chan had the basket with her. All 4 loaves of bread were in it. I must have been eyeing the bread pretty hard because she then offered me one of those tasty loaves. However, when I bumped into Kasumi-chan again at the club room, I felt bad for taking part of Ayumu-chan's birthday present. So after Kasumi-chan left, I placed the loaf of bread I had with me into the basket. Okay, I think we have to contradict the wagarashi here. I could be wrong, but we're gonna try. The case is getting weirder and weirder by the second. Who knew that it would get to this point? I sure didn't, but from the looks of it, Shizuku-chan did her. We'll probably have to do some thinking outside the box for this one because nothing else is clicking with me. We want to prove that Kasumi-chan didn't make any laced loaves, right? Well, let's assume she didn't. Then let's ask ourselves why it was impossible that she would want to. I guess we'll press all of them? I don't know. That's the best I got. Are you sure there were exactly 4 loaves of bread in the basket? Yep, Kasumi-chan was trying to hide them from me at first, but she did eventually show me, and there were indeed exactly 4 loaves of bread in the basket. The defendant was attempting to conceal the bread. Sounds awfully suspicious. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Why would Kasumi-chan give you something meant as a gift for Ayumu? I see, I thought it was weird too. I guess I was drooling or something, and Kasumi-chan decided 3 loaves were plenty. Don't quote me on that though, I'm not Kasumi-chan, so I'm just guessing. Rats, I guess we won't be able to know for sure. So what ended up happening to the loaf of bread that you received? She ate it, right? I would assume so. So basically you found out the loaf you got was Ayumu's gift when you bumped into Kasumi-chan at the club room? Well, not really. I found out when I first bumped into Kasumi-chan at the cooking room. Oh, okay. Wait, it took you 3.5 hours to try to correct this mistake? This is a school. Some students are going to have class during school hours. Oh, but Kanata-san can take a 2-hour nap just fine. Still, I'm not completely satisfied with that response. The prosecution's hiding something. I just know it. You had an extra loaf this entire time? Why would you leave that out of your previous testimony? I was told to. Bruh. By who? Shizuku-chan. Wow, okay, I know she's supposed to be honest, but that's just silly. So the prosecution was trying to hide this piece of evidence. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Yes. First off, it's by whom, not by who. So annoying. But that's our theater girl playing the role of an evil, arrogant prosecutor for you. Honestly, sometimes I feel like she just wanted to do this whole attorney thing so she can screw around as an evil prosecutor. I highly doubt that, but you do have a point. Second, once again, I just didn't think it was necessary to bring up, since no matter whose hands the loaves get exchanged between, they all started with Kasumi-sana, and they all ended with Ayumu-sana. Well, at least that's somewhat understandable. Let's try the diary. I think it said something. Yay! Witness, are you aware of what this is? A journal of some sort? Right, specifically it's the defendant's journal, presented as evidence that she had a motive. There's an entry in here written at 12:05 p.m. on the day of the crime. In it, Kasumi-chan details how she was jealous of Ayumu's cuteness on that day. Classic Kasumi-chan. Combined with her nature, I can see why she would want to sabotage poor Ayumu-chan. Yes, but there's a problem. The entry states that Kasumi-chan only saw Ayumu in all of her glory at 12:05 that day, and no earlier. So tell me, how could she have prepared the lace loaves at 10:30, an hour and a half before she saw Ayumu? Ah, that's true. So the defendant hadn't seen the victim at the time she prepared the bread, which means this whole time we were assuming that the defendant had prepared the lace loaf as sort of revenge of pettiness in response to Ayumu's prettiness. However, we know now that it is impossible that the defendant had such feelings at the time she prepared the bread. Thus, she had no motivation. Therefore, the defendant had no reason to commit this crime. And don't say that's just how she is, because that's not a valid reason. The court agrees. It wouldn't be fair to indicate the defendant unless there was a reasonable motivation. Well, what do you say, witness? Huh? Why are you asking me? Wait, sorry, my bad. I got too caught up in the moment. Let's try that again. Well, what do you say, prosecution? You're absolutely correct. Without the motive in the diary, it would not be enough to consider the defendant guilty. Unless she had another motivation. Another motivation? I'll let the defense explain it. Ayumu-san, if you may. Wait, what exactly am I explaining? Something happened the day before the crime, do you remember? Wait, could it be that? Do I have to? If you won't, I will. I don't mean to embarrass you, but this is important. So, the day before the crime, Ayuma-san was in one of the restrooms doing what she calls Ayupyeon to herself in the mirror. Aw, that's so cute! Yu-chan, I just remembered. I need to go home and, feed Sasuke.
Oh!
But right now? At that point, she was walked in on by no other than Kasumi-san. In short, they had an argument. The victim was upset about being walked in on, while the defendant was upset about Ayumu-san being cuter than her. Where did this suddenly come from? I guess bread isn't the only thing Shizuku-chan can pull out of her behind her. That said, if she's willing to suddenly resort to this kind of evidence, it might be closer to the truth than I thought. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of reality for a crime to be motivated by this incident, to be honest. However, you do realize that this does not qualify as valid evidence, correct? I am aware. However, the witness has testimony that connects that story with this crime. Well, let's hear it. What Kasumi said. This all happened right after Kasumi-chan had handed me one of her loaves of bread after I bumped into her outside of the cooking room. She suddenly whispered to me, remember that argument Ayumu-senpai and I had the other day? She didn't specifically mention Ayumu-chan's birthday at the time, so it sounded like she made the bread more because of the argument. I didn't realize it at the time, but I guess that she was planning her payback. She asked me if I knew which locker was Ayuma-chan's, but I didn't, so I just shook my head no. So it appeared that the defendant had indeed set up the gift as a trap in response to the argument, especially since, as the witness has stated, she made no mention of the victim's birthday. Well, let's not beat around the bush. Defense your cross-examination if you please. It looks like all we gotta do is stall them a bit, but I can feel the prosecution's case unraveling by the second. There's going to be a break for us in here soon, I can feel it. If I'm able to do it in like one shot, then sure. Anyway, Kasumi-chan mentioning the argument before the day of the crime doesn't necessarily mean she wants to get revenge on Ayumu, you know. And what do you suggest the defendant meant, defense? Well, my hypothesis is maybe Kasumi-chan was thinking in terms of setting up the basket of bread as an apology gift for Ayumu-chan. Sure. And while she's at it, throw in a nuclear spicy mustard loaf of death to apologize extra hard, right?
Damn!
Alright, I get the point. Well, that was not it. Let's try this. And what do you mean by didn't realize it at the time? I meant I only realized it way after the fact, when I heard about Kasumi-chan's sabotage. Her mentioning Ayuma-chan's name made me remember that it was her birthday, so at the time I didn't really think much of it. But isn't it a bit of a leap in logic to say that Kasumi-chan meant in the sense that she wanted revenge on Ayumu? I mean, if she wanted to get back at Ayumu, why would she mention that at all? It doesn't matter why the defendant said such a thing. The act of sabotage combined with his juxtaposition to a potential motive suggests that the two are connected. I never seen or heard of this word in my life here, but good to know. That's true, the court agrees. Ah, darn you, past Kasumi-chan, you're really making this hard for me here. Just for clarification, did she just hand you a random loaf out of the floor? I guess so, I'm not her, so I wouldn't know for sure. But it didn't look like she's put much thought into which loaf she gave me. Why? What's the matter? Not sure, maybe I should continue this line of questioning. Press harder! We have to, a back down means we're a chicken. Witness, did any of the 4 loaves stand out, or were they identical? All 4 loaves were made and packaged identically, I'm pretty sure. And how can you be so sure of that? It's not like you studied the bread in the basket when Kasumi-chan showed them to you, right? No, I studied them after. After? Yup, I went on Kasumi-chan's social media and saw that she posted a picture of the loaves of bread. They look so delicious that I just had to take another look at them. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they were all the same. Oh, me too. I'm gonna take a look right now. But isn't that weird? One of the 4 loaves were laced, right? So how did she know which one not to give you? What if she gave you the laced loaf? Beats me. I guess she just memorized which one it was. That's a bit too odd for me to just ignore like that. Witness, please add this to your testimony. Okay, sure thing. I'm gonna try to present the crime report on this statement. Yeah. I figured it out. I finally understand what's going on here. The 4 loaves of bread could not have all been identical. Oh, do tell me why. Yes, I'm curious to know what's your epiphany as well. It's in here somewhere, I know it, but which part? The 4 loaves of bread could not have been identical, and the following part of the crime report shows why. Date and time of the crime, description of the crime, evidence found, time the suspect was apprehended. I did not look at this clearly. I think it's description of the crime or evidence found. Shit, I don't know. Let's try your description. It's all in here, the description of the crime. Really? And how does that show that the 4 loaves of bread must have not been identical? It's quite simple, Your Honor. You see, the crime report says that there was a loaf laced with mustard, not the whole lot. That means the loaves were in fact not identical on the inside. Yes, we already knew that. Huh, we did? Not to mention, I said that they looked identical from the outside, not the inside. I don't have x-ray vision. Oh, I see what I did wrong here. Good to know. Wait, Your Honor, I've got it for real now.
Are you sure about that?
Okay, so we only have one more chance before we're dead, per se. So it is not description of the crime. I'm gonna try this option. It's all in here, the evidence found related to the crime. Really, and how does it show that the 4 loaves of bread must have not been identical? Yes, please enlighten us, defense. It's quite simple, Your Honor. Up to this point, we've covered all the evidence listed in this crime report, except the twist tie. What could that little twist tie tell us that we haven't already established? I'll show you. This is the basket of bread collected at the scene of the crime. Indeed, I would like you all to note that none of the loaves are packed using twist ties. They are instead packaged with an adhesive flap. Yet the witness claims that they were packed all identically to each other. Was I wrong about that? So what does this mean? Could it be that the witness was mistaken? I don't think so. The defendant posted a photo of the bread on her social media, didn't she? That way we can be sure if the loaves were identical. Ayumu, you said you took a look at Kasumi-chan's post on her social media, correct? Were there any of the loaves packed with a twist tie? Actually, none of them were. You guys can take a look for yourselves if you don't believe me. Hang on, so the loaves of bread were packaged identically at first, but by the time the victim got to them, one of them was packaged differently, which means there's only one thing it could mean. The twist tie was found on the floor, which also means the loaf that it was used to package had been opened. Moreover, the loaf of bread that was opened at the time Kanata-san investigated the scene of the crime was the laced loaf. That means that the replaced loaf and the laced loaf are one and the same. Then who could have swapped in the laced loaf? Defense, what do you make of this? There was only one person it could have been. Could it be? The one who planted the lace loaf is... Well, it is not you, which is us. It's not Ayumu, because she's the victim in this case. It's either Kasumi, Kanata, or Emma. I mean, Kanata sleeps a lot, so it can't really be her. So it has to be Emma then. Emma-san, could it be that you were the one who placed the lace loaf? Did you just say Emma-san? Pardon me, can you say that again? It sounded like you were accusing the witness of committing the crime. Of course, listen carefully. Emma-san, it was you who planted the lace bread, wasn't it? Me? Defense, are you suggesting that the witness committed the crime? Of course I am. Think about it. Between the time Kasumi-chan took the photo of the 4 identical loaves of bread and the time Ayumu arrived to take the bite of the lace loaf, only one other person came into contact with said bread. Who, pray to tell, was that one other person? That's right, it was the witness Emma-san. Witness, explain, what is the meaning of this? No, it can't be, right? What if, Suzuku-chan, the defense is full of trivial. That's not even considering the possibility that the defendant could have dropped off the laced loaf after the witness left. Sorry, but that could not have happened. Kasumi-chan couldn't have dropped off the laced loaf after Emma-san entered at 2:05, showing by. The access records. Please look at the provided access records. You'll notice that nobody entered the room between 2:05 when the witness entered as Kasumi-chan exited and 3:30 when the victim entered. Now recall that the prosecution themselves stated that nobody else entered between Kasumi-chan leaving and Ayumu entering. Guess what? That includes Kasumi-chan herself. No! Sorry to burst your bubble, but you know this all means nothing, right? A little twist tie won't get you anywhere. For starters, are you aware that the detective, Kanata Kanoe, wasn't present at the crime scene during the entirety of the investigation? Remember that Kanata-san mentioned that the access records were shut off at 4:30 and that she returned to the scene of the crime at 4:50? It would have been extremely easy for the defendant to return to the scene of the crime between those times and plant the twist tie at the scene of the crime to trick people just like you. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but I know for a fact that it was absolutely impossible for that to happen. Huh? It was impossible? Yes, and here's why it is impossible for Kasumi-chan to have entered the scene of the crime between 4:30 and 4:50. I don't know this answer. I'm just guessing. Crime report, I guess? If you take a look at the crime report, you can see that the suspect was apprehended at 4:10. She was taken away before the access records were even shut off. There's no way she could have been barged into the club room afterwards. Damn it, she's right. What was I thinking? And now, the moment of truth. Witness, be honest. The loaf of bread you placed in the basket wasn't the same one you received from Kasumi-chan, was it? The prosecution's trust is in the witness. Come on, witness, there's no way that the defense is correct about this rubbish, right? Well, no, as in the defense is wrong, correct? No, it's true. The bread was a different loaf. What the hell? Oh boy, this is intense. So what really happened was, via Kasumi-chan's photo of the bread before the incident, we know that all 4 loaves were packaged identically at first. However, a long twist tie was found at the scene of the crime, indicating that one of the loaves had been wrapped differently by the time the crime happened, and only one person came into contact with the bread between those 2 times. Therefore, the defense attests that it was not the defendant who sent Ayumu the laced bread. It was the witness, Emma Verde. It is unbelievable that I am saying this, but the one who pulled this cruel prank on Ayumu-san appears not to have been Kasumi-san, but Emma-san. Defense, I must commend you. Against all odds, you managed to prove that Kasumi-san was not, in fact, responsible for this crime. Have I done it? Is it finally over?
Nope.
Did you really think that this was over? Maybe, but no. Didn't think so. This time, though, I'm ready. I must say, defense, your ability to rile up the court is impressive. It makes us forget to slow down and look at the facts. Even I found myself too distracted to ask myself the simple questions. But we're all calmed down now, so let's take a step back for a second. There's one important question we forgot to ask ourselves in all of this that will turn everything on its head. Something we forgot to ask ourselves? Yes, and that one simple important question is, why? Why? Yes, why? This whole time I've been racking my brain about why on earth Emma-san would want to pull this stunt on Ayumu-san, and I've yet to come up with one. That's what I've been thinking. Emma-san's so sweet and friendly, I can't even begin to think of a possible motive. The prosecution is right. We're currently lacking an all-important motive. She's right. We haven't found a motive. One possibility I've been thinking about is the idea that Emma-san's loaf of bread was not laced, and that one of the other loaves in the baskets were instead. As well, the twist tie may have been placed there from an unrelated source, and didn't come from the laced loaf's packaging after all. Now, this may sound convoluted, But the prosecution believes that this is indefinitely more plausible than Emma-san somehow having a reason to do this to Ayumu-san. Very true. Yu-chan, they're going to let Emma-san walk away. I don't think she did it, but if she walks... No, not only are we ever going to find out what really happened, but also Kasumi-chan will be found guilty. I can't let that happen. It can't end just like this. Your Honor, there's too much we don't know about this case. We believe that there is not enough info yet for a proper ruling. Emma-san admitted that the loaf that she placed wasn't the same one that she received, correct? Therefore, the defense requests that the witness testimony about what she did with the loaf of bread she received and how it was replaced with the loaf ultimately consumed by the victim. The court acknowledges the situation that the culprit could only have been either Kasumi-san or Emma-san. However, due to the astronomically low likelihood that Emma-san had a motive for this crime, the court is still of the belief that Kasumi-san is the real culprit. That said, in the spirit of clearing up as much uncertainty as possible, the defense will be allowed one more testimony from the witness. Do note, though, that if this cross-examination proves fruitless, the verdict shall be handed down immediately. So I've only got one shot at this, huh? I better make it count. A futile effort. Loose ends are loose ends. Witness, let's wrap this up once and for all. Witness, are you listening? Please testify about where you got the new loaf of bread. Sure thing. I feel so bad for Emma. I'm sorry, Emma. I know we're just acting, but I still feel bad. After I received the loaf of bread from Kasumi-chan, I immediately opened it and bit into it. Right afterwards, though, I found out that the bread was Ayumu-chan's present, so I felt bad about it. I decided to have a replacement made in the cooking room. I remembered the design of the bread as well as I could, and got a replacement wrapper and twist tie from the cooking room supplies. I wasn't sure about the filling, so I called Kasumi-chan about it and found the bottle in the cooking room. I had class, so I handed off the ingredients and specifications to the cooking assistant so she could do it while I was away. When I came back and saw that the bread was baked in perfection, I just packed it up and dropped it off in the club room. That's quite a story. If this weren't Emma-san, I would honestly have my doubts. But it is, and now you know exactly why the true culprit could only be the defendant. Defense, are you ready for your final cross-examination? I'm ready, because who would vouch for Kasumi-chan if I weren't? I guess we'll do my usual tactic, press everything. So in the mere seconds between Kasumi-chan handing you the bread and asking about Ayumu's locker, you had already unwrapped the bread and had taken a bite out of it? Basically yes. I couldn't just give Ayumu-chan a half-eaten loaf, so I just finished it off. Alright, so how long did it take you to eat the whole thing? 15 seconds.
Damn!
That's a little too intense, but okay. For a loaf that big, wow, that's fast. Defense, do you think this is important to the testimony? No, I was just curious. Then I suggest you make better use of your time. Since you had bumped into Kasumi-chan at the door of the cooking room, I assume that you ended up going to the same cooking room that she left, right? That's right, I headed in right after Kasumi-chan left. The wagarashi bottle was found in that same cooking room though, wasn't it? So there's the possibility that you used the bottle for your replacement loaf instead? No, it doesn't. Don't forget that Emma-san still has no reason to do so. No good. I just can't seem to get a solid footing. So, did you misremember what the packaging was like after all? I think. Now that Shizuku-chan mentioned it, I'm not sure if my loaf had a twist tie or not. I guess I was too caught up in the moment. The mild surprise of suddenly bumping into Kasumi-chan, combined with her holding a fancy basket, caught me off guard. To be honest, when it comes to these kinds of things, I'm more focused on the bread than the packaging. I suppose I can't really blame her for that. This is Emma-san we're talking about after all. So, besides the twist tie, everything else about the packaging was identical, right? I think so, since Kasumi-chan cooked the bread in the same room, she probably had also used the same plastic wrappers from the supplies. I guess everything checks out here too. And how did that conversation go exactly? Well, I sort of just called her and asked her what the filling was. I said I was going to write it down so I could cook myself another loaf later. It turned out to be a specific brand of cream from a specific place. Shira something. Just a second, witness. Pardon my interruption. Is this the cream that you heard about? It's called Shirakawa. Ah, yes, that's it. Shirakawa. I see. I grabbed this on the off chance that it may be important. It was found in the same cooking room. Well, Emma-san's story checks out because this cream smells and tastes absolutely delectable. Shirakawa brand cream, added to the court record. Shirakawa brand cream? I never heard of it. It seems like Emma-san hadn't either. Alright, 2 more statements we gotta press. The cooking assistant? Yeah, basically, she's a TA who usually helps the cooking class, but is also there sometimes on her own. I'm on good terms with her, so I handed her the filling and the photo of the bread on Kasumi-chan's social media, and asked her to do me a favor. I guess I didn't pay too much attention to how she packaged it, and that's why I don't remember if my loaf had a twist tie on it. I wasn't the one who packaged it, so Emma-san didn't cook the loaf herself? Hang on, so there was another person involved in this? Shouldn't we get their side of the story as well? The verdict is being handed down after this cross-examination. Are you sure you want to spend time bringing in another witness?
No!
If only I had more time. Okay, last statement to press. Finally, that was a lot. So was there anything being left out this time? No surprise loaves of bread or other evidence? No more extra bits of testimony? No more. I promise you that's the end of it. There's nothing more to the story. But I actually need you to bring something out this time. There's not enough to work with here. Then, are you sure you got everything right this time? Everything you said is accurate to what happened? Defense, are you suggesting that the witness is lying about something in her testimony? If you think something is inaccurate, surely you can prove it, right? I don't know, I just don't. That's quite enough. There's nothing else to cross-examine. The defense has failed to find any gaps in the witness's testimony. No! Therefore, as stated, I will hand down my verdict now. I told you it was futile. Like I said, there is no way that Emma-san would have any reason to commit the crime. It's no use, Ayumu, I failed. Shizuku-chan's right. Emma-san would never have a motive to do the crime. Which is why I was thinking, maybe she did it by accident? Accident? Your Honor, please wait. The defense attests that there's still the possibility that the witness is mistaken about what actually happened. That's the most desperate attempt at prolonging the trial possible. You're saying the witness's testimony is wrong? You want to make that accusation? Then surely you must have the evidence to back it up, right? The prosecution is right. In the court of law, evidence is everything. Therefore, if you want to make the accusation, you must present the evidence. Well, defense, do you have evidence to back up your claim? This is it. The whole case hangs on this decision. If we assume Emma-san really accidentally had the laced loaf made, then she must have misinterpreted one of the pieces of evidence. But which one? The piece of evidence that Emma misinterpreted is... It's gotta be the wagarashi, because she didn't know the name of the Shirakawa brand cream. This is the bottle of the wagarashi used in the lace loaf. If Emma really did use this in the lace loaf, then she must have mistaken it for the bottle of Shirakawa somehow. I've got to think carefully. I'll just show her one part of the wagarashi bottle and see if she mistakes it for the Shirakawa. Which part of the wagarashi bottle should I show Emma-san? Bottle itself, the name of the label, the contents. I would say the bottle itself or the name of the label. I'm gonna guess the label. The name on the label. I write the name on the strip of paper exactly as it appears on the bottle of the wagarashi. Witness, can you take a look at this for me? I see it. What about it? Can you please read this for us? Of course. It says Shirakawa. Wait, what? Wait. Okay, I'm confused. Witness, are you aware that this actually says wagarashi, as in the name of the mustard used in the lace bread? So it does, huh? In light of this, is it possible that you made the same mistake when you picked out the filling at the cooking room? I did. You did? You're right. I didn't want to believe that I could make such an awful mistake as sabotaging a gift for a friend, but it's true. Emma-san laced the bread? So that's it, huh? That's what really happened. But how? How could you mix up these two ingredients that looked completely different? See, I wasn't sure either. How could you confuse a spicy mustard and a sweet cream with different names? But then I figured out that it probably has to do with the orientation of the names. The orientation of the names? Yes, the orientation of the names. Wagarashi is written as that, and Shirakawa is written as that. Though these names look very different at first glance, they look almost identical if one is read backwards. Oh! That's cool but confusing. What the hell? Anyway, I figured Emma-san, being a foreigner, would be used to reading things left to right. That is true. However, if you look at the Wagarashi written as that, you'll notice that it's written right to left. And being in a hurry to get to class, she missed the difference between that and Wagarashi and that in Shirakawa. Exactly. Emma-san heard the name Shirakawa and accidentally read Wagarashi as Shirakawa. But wouldn't the cooking assistant have realized she was baking a loaf of bread with a spicy mustard? She didn't think that was weird? It's possible that she did, but when we started the session of the trial, I was afraid I wouldn't get anywhere with cross-examinations because Emma-san is too trustworthy. I didn't think she could lie about anything. Emma-san said she's on good terms with the cooking assistant, right? Maybe in a similar way to me, she trusted Emma-san's judgment too much to question it. I agree. If Emma-san was in a hurry and requested I do something important for her, I wouldn't have questioned it either. Well, I've got to hand it to you, Defense. You've done a fantastic job convincing us that indeed Emma-san could be the one behind this whole situation, including myself. I trusted my own judgment too much. I wanted to correct a mistake, but I just ended up causing another mistake. I was too careless. I didn't think I could actually mess up this badly, and because of that, poor Kasumi-chan got blamed for it instead of me. But now that Yu-chan is showing us what really happened, I know now that I was wrong. I need to own up to my mistake, huh? Emma-san, Ayumu-chan, Kasumi-chan, I'm sorry. I hope that you can forgive me for all this. I forgive her. It was an accident! Congrats, Kasumi-san. You picked out a good defense attorney because it looks like you'll be cleared of all charges. Of course, never doubted Senpai for a second. See, I told you it wasn't Kasumi. Just because something bad happens, that doesn't always mean it's Kasumi's fault, you know. Now, if you don't mind, Kasumi would like to go home. Hang on, Kasumi-chan. The judge still needs to call the verdict. Who knows? Maybe Shizuku-chan had something to show us that will put you back under suspicion. Ah! Shizuku, you wouldn't do that, would you? Quick, Judge, call the verdict. Say that Kasumi isn't guilty. Just a little payback for saying all those self-incriminating things to Emma-san. Very well, then. This court officially finds the defendant, Nakasu Kasumi, not guilty. Yay! Although I feel bad for Emma. Anyway, that is all. Court is adjourned. March 2nd, 7:51 p.m. Defendant lobby. I did it! I actually did it! I won! Way to go! That was amazing, Yu-chan. You know, at the end of it all, I have to say that it was all actually pretty fun. I'm actually kind of looking forward to the next one. You did it, Senpai! Kasumi owns you one for that. Maybe Kasumi will owe you one, or maybe not. Thanks, Kasumi-chan. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, you guys! Ayumu-chan, I'm sorry I ruined your birthday yesterday. Can I ever make it up to you? Huh? Don't worry about it, Emma-san. I'm already over it. You guys are my friends, okay? You're all too important to me to get upset at. Ayumu. Besides, I've had worse. It couldn't be as bad as the time I got pressed by a demon or that time I went to Mars to bring the joy of idols to the Martians. Wait, what? Huh? That actually happened? Wait, no, never mind. I think the second one was actually a dream I had. You're telling me the first one wasn't? Emma-senpai, how could you? You almost let Kasumi take the bullet for something that you did. Why would you do that? Sorry, Kasumi-chan. I really thought it was you who wanted to prank Ayumu-chan for the argument the day before her birthday. No, it was an apology gift. APOLOGY gift. That's why I put Unity on my social media post. But in a sense, it was all good that there was uncertainty about who did it, right? There wouldn't have been a case if there wasn't. Oh hey, Kanata-san, how was playing detective? It was fun, kind of. But next time, go easier on Kanata-chan, okay? Right, sorry for putting you on the spot like that, Kanata-san. Had to consider all possibilities, you know? Well, maybe Kanata-chan will just speculate next time. Senpai, thanks for the brilliant trial. We're going to put it online soon. I'm sure everyone will love it. Alright, by the way, could you maybe tone down the evil prosecutor stick next time? Sorry, did I overdo it? I thought it would be more exciting for the watchers if the prosecutor was more villainous. I had full confidence in you winning the trial. Setting up an arrogant antagonist would make the takedown more satisfying for the viewer, you know? Yeah, it's just, wow, you were a completely different person back there. Huh? You're right. Next time I'll find someone who's like that naturally. Then the viewer won't be as confused by the sudden personality change if they happen to know what the prosecutor is like normally. Not what I meant. Bad idea? I'll give it some more thought then. To be honest, I'm not satisfied just leaving it off here. I still want to do something to make it up to you, Ayumu-chan, for accidentally feeding her a lace loaf of bread. How about I cook you all a new batch of bread, mustard-free, of course? Well, if you insist, then I gratefully accept. Although I'm honestly not in the mood for bread after all that. Maybe something else? Sure, how about a cake instead? It was your birthday after all. Consider it a late birthday cake. What flavor though? It should be something meaningful, but also something that Ayumu-chan hasn't tasted yet. Something Ayumu hasn't tasted yet? I think I just got the thing. Shirakawa. Hey, how about this? The Shirakawa cream thing. Since Ayumu only ever tasted the lace loaf and the other three were taken in as evidence, Ayumu actually never tasted this, did she? Ooh, great thinking, Yu-chan. Want a Shirakawa flavored cake coming right up. Kasumi will help out too, you know, to make sure you're doing it right. No more mistaking mustard for cream, okay? Kasumi doesn't want to have to go through another trial again. Speaking of trials, Emma-san, I'm honestly surprised. I didn't think you were capable of lying as much as you did in that trial there. Lie? I never lied during my testimonies. But you said you put the bread you got from Kasumi-chan into Ayumu's basket when it was actually a completely different loaf of bread. I didn't say that. I said I put the loaf I had into the basket. No mention of who it was from. What about the basket? You said you didn't touch it, but you put the lace loaf in it, right? I did say that, it's true though. I didn't actually make the contact with the basket while putting it in. Oh, she's a slippery one. Then what about the cream? You said you wanted to know about it for future reference, but you actually wanted to use it immediately to sneakily cover up a mistake. Well, I started cooking the bread a few seconds after I asked you about it. A few seconds into the future is still in the future, isn't it? I didn't know you were so cunning. Listen, Yu-chan, when you've got 8 little siblings, you're bound to figure out a trick or two. And post it. Whether or not this gets a good response, let's all celebrate this as a successful trial. Sure. Anyway, I could really go for some cake right now. Emma-san, since you're offering. Of course. Kanata-chan, Suzuku-chan, would you care to join us for cake after Kasumi-chan and I are done? Sure thing. Kanata-chan will go get Setsuna-chan as well. Then it's a date. Come on, everybody. Let's go. Aww, that's a cute photo. Episode 1, Birth of a Turnabout, the end. That's beautiful. But where's the cake? I don't see it. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. And I guess I will see you all next time in another Gyakuten Live video. Or whatever I make next. Goodbye for now.